Well, this has been extremely informative. Before we end the discussion, I want to have each of you just give us some final thoughts of where we are here in early 2019 with multiple sclerosis. So, Dr. Coyle.
So this is a very exciting time. We have a multitude of disease-modifying therapies for relapsing MS. We recognize critical is early treatment, effective treatment, and shared decision-making, following patients closely. Do not forget wellness. Emphasize that, important, that helps CNS reserve. Do not forget comorbid conditions influence and damage the central nervous system, many of them. They must be optimally controlled. Lacking, we need effective CNS repair, and we need to figure out the puzzle of progressive MS and have neuroprotective treatments for neurodegeneration that probably will need to be started at the very earliest MS time point. But we've made tremendous advances. This is very exciting.
Good. Dr. Shiv-Tabu.
So to me, the most important unmet need is treating progressive disease. And taking treatment in all forms of MS to the next level, just like oncologists do, is to look at combination therapy and to look at induction therapy followed by maintenance therapy, and see if those would really impact the course of the disease in the long run. And I think we need to, again, advance the area of personalized medicine in MS, developing biomarkers to predict the course of the disease as early as possible. And once you start the patient on treatment, to be able to predict the response to treatment within a short period, so that if you know that drug is not going to work for this patient, you make that switch early on.
Dr. Leist.
There is an early window in multiple sclerosis, in my opinion, that we don't fully utilize, partially because we may not fully appreciate what it means to incur injuries during that window, partially also because we may not have access to the full armamentarium of medications that have been developed for the treatment of multiple sclerosis. MS is also a disease that needs regular re-evaluation of the patient with new treatment decisions to be made when the patient shows progression. So it is, in my mind, not acceptable if patients are long-term on a single agent and slowly but surely deteriorate on these agents, whether or not they have overt activity at attacks or not.
Dr. Markowitz.
I'm going to agree with everything that's been said, and I think that the approach that we have lived for the first 20 some odd years of therapeutics in MS has been okay. I think we need to go much more aggressively up front. I don't want to call myself an oncologist, but I feel like I'm moving into that conversation, and be able to come up with strategies that are safe so that we don't have as much of a concern on the safety side of things. That being said, one piece that has not been addressed, and we didn't talk about it all today, but I think is a very exciting area potentially, is the microbiome. And I think there's a lot there that we have not yet uncovered, and I think could really answer a lot of the concerns that we have, and I think it's going to be the next decade's worth of research.
And Dr. Sackowitz.
It gets, the farther we go along the line here, the harder and harder it gets to say something really interesting. But I would agree with all the comments that are made, and I would just emphasize that it really is exciting to be part of this community, because there have been so many discoveries along the way. The meetings, there's so much energy that people bring, and so much hard work. People really are thinking about how to make this better and better for patients. And I think in the time that I've had the opportunity to diagnose patients, I've never looked at it as a fatal sentence, or I think that we are very capable of managing patients and really changing their disease course. Of course, there's room to get better, but I think there's a lot of hope.
Indeed. So these are very exciting times in multiple sclerosis, which has been leading the area of neurotherapeutics, which is growing excitedly, not just for MS, but for other areas of neurology as well. And I suspect we'll continue for quite a bit longer. So thank each of you for your contributions to the discussion. On behalf of our panel, we thank you for joining us, and we hope you found this peer exchange discussion to be useful and informative. Thank you all.